What's up, guys? It's Chris, and I want to welcome you to Red Ribbon Week 101. Now, our theme this year is be happy, be brave, and be drug-free. Which means, of course, we're going to encourage you not to use drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. But we're also going to focus this year on being happy, doing things that make you happy, that are fun, and that you enjoy. Now, we don't want to stop there, because in every area of life, you're going to face a moment where you need courage, where you need to be brave and stand up for what is right or against what is wrong. So we're going to give you some real life situations from people just like you that had to have courage to stand up and make a situation better. All right, guys, enough talking by me. Let's get ready for Red Ribbon Week 101. So here's a question for you. Why do people smoke?
I think it makes me so much cooler.
That's a good one.
The fact is, smoking doesn't allow your skin to look as healthy as it normally would, and it can cause some serious dental problems. That's definitely not cool.
Well, smoking makes me more popular with the ladies.
Smoking can also cause bad breath, yellow teeth, and it can affect your athletic ability. Good luck impressing the ladies.
Well, when I don't get a cigarette, sometimes I feel so angry.
Oh my goodness.
It's a fact that people who smoke are more likely to deal with emotional stress, so that's probably what you're feeling.
All I know is I have to have a cigarette and I need it now.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, just smoking one cigarette can lead to years of addiction.
I wish someone would have told me that before.
That's why today we want to remind you to be happy, be brave, be drug-free.
A time when I had to be brave was when I had to apologize to my best friend in 5th grade after we had gotten into an argument. It was so bad that the counselor had to get involved. I had to admit that I was wrong, admit that I did something wrong, and ask her to forgive me, which sometimes can be scary because I didn't want her to stay mad at me. I didn't want her to be like, I forgive you, but we can't be friends anymore. So the counselor talked to us for a long time, and we both had to apologize to each other, and it ended up saving our friendship because we were still friends afterwards. Be happy, be brave, be drug-free.
It takes a lot of courage to make up with a friend and save the friendship. But you also have to be very brave to be willing to tell a friend when something they're doing is dangerous or unhealthy. And that's what Red Ribbon Week 101 is all about. Being there for our friends and for our family members. Now, speaking of family, our next video of courage shows you how a family can work together and get along better. Check this out.
I was about 12 years old. My dad was in the military and he was gone on a work trip where he would be gone for like a week straight. So at the time, at home, it was just my 2 younger brothers, my mom, and me. It had been raining a whole bunch. There was thunder, there was lightning, and my mom was afraid that the power was gonna go out. So she said, I need to run to the store, I need to get some supplies like batteries, candles. And so I said, no problem, you're only gonna be gone for like 10-15 minutes, I can handle that. Well, as soon as she left, like maybe 2 minutes later, the power ended up going out. And at that time, I was scared of the dark. I knew my brothers were scared of the dark. Me being the bigger sister, I had to step up. I knew that in our kitchen, which was on the other side of the house, that there was an emergency flashlight in there. I told my brothers, because I didn't want to leave them in the dark, to hold them to my hands. We were gonna walk to the kitchen, we were gonna find the flashlight, and everything would be fine. I found the flashlight, we turned it on, it worked. And we sat in the living room together and we kind of just waited until my mom got home. And it wasn't a big deal, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I stepped up. I knew I had to be brave for them. I knew I had to make my parents proud and take care of my little brothers. Be happy, be brave, be drug-free.
And now for refusal skills.
No way. Not gonna do it. Those are just a few examples of what you can tell someone when they're trying to get you to do something like drugs, alcohol, or tobacco. Throughout this kickoff video, we're going to be teaching you different refusal skills. Basically, they're just ways to say no when someone's trying to get you to do something that is dangerous, unhealthy, or just a bad idea. All right, we got a few more coming up in a little bit, but right now, check this out.
The following is an unpaid advertisement by UB Grossman.
Hi, I'm UB Grossman and I represent drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. If you vote for me, your athletic career will be down the drain. Your face might even start to look like this.
What?
In fact, everything you used to eat and drink will taste like smoke. That's nasty. Your dog won't even like you anymore.
I don't like you anymore.
I'm UB Grossman, and I approve this move.
Don't be like UB Grossman.
Hi everyone, I'm Larson. So I've always been really quiet, and I've never liked to be the center of attention or take center stage. One time when I was in college, I had to be brave and do the right thing in order to show someone else how much I care and how great they are. So I worked at the campus clinic, and my boss was really, really great. And at the end of the year, I nominated her for Supervisor of the Year, and she won. But I was told that in order for her to get the award, I would have to stand up on stage at the award ceremony and give a speech. And so I was really scared and really nervous, but I stood up in front of all the students and all the staff, and I gave my speech and I gave her the award, and I'm really happy that I was able to do that. Be happy, be brave, and be drug-free.
And now for another refusal skill.
I'm not trying to be rude, but I've got better things to do. I ain't wasting my time on that. That's just another example of a refusal skill. Telling someone that I've got better things to do lets them know that you're not going to waste your time with something like drugs, alcohol, or tobacco. Even if you have to pause this video, stop and think of all the fun things that you can do instead of making a bad choice. Whether that's sports or baking or reading, watching TV, video games, we can think of tons of things that you can do. If you're sitting there and you're thinking, you know what, I don't feel like I have anything that I'm good at, you're in luck, because later on in this program, we're gonna teach you how to have something better to do. All right, guys, well, we got a few more, but we also have more videos here. Check this out.
When I made the decision to apply to grad school, I had been telling myself that I wasn't going to be able to do it, that it was going to be too hard, it was going to be too expensive, and I was never going to finish. But I told myself just to try and see what happens. So I applied, I got in, and now I'm almost done. And I just had to trust in myself that I was making the right decision and that this was going to be good for me. And it ended up being something great. So being brave led to something really amazing. Be happy, be brave, and be drug-free.
I was in a really bad car accident in 2009, which caused me to have a traumatic brain injury. Day to day, I have to be brave and deal with the issues my brain has now. So whenever I get frustrated at myself, whenever, let's say, I forget something or I forget a word to say, I just have to keep telling myself, you know what, I can do this, I can handle this. I just have to be brave every day and make the right choice, make good decisions. I just don't get myself down about, the problems that I have now. So just keeping a good outlook on things.
Sometimes when people face tough situations and feel like no one's around to turn to, they choose to turn to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Now that doesn't make things better, it makes things a lot worse. So that's why during this Red Ribbon Week 101 kickoff show, I also want to make you aware of Midcoast Family Services. Our youth department serves just about every school in this area. In fact, if you're watching this right now, we probably have one of our representatives at your school. So talk to your counselor, ask them who the Midcoast person is that goes to your school, and you can get involved in a small group that we have. We talk about things like healthy choices, how to make good friends, and just social skills that anyone can use. So make sure you talk to them. It's Midcoast Family Services Youth Department. We got a whole lot more fun stuff coming up right now. Check this out.
I represent the people all over the land that are tobacco free, cause they wanna take a stand for the right thing to do, because the right thing to choose is to have fun, but the right to refuse belongs to you and not the thugs in the street, cause they can't compete with the dreams that you got. You wanna be a doctor or a ball player, maybe a teacher or a rhyme sayer, whatever it is, man, it's right there. All you gotta do is ignore the haters and follow up the dreams that you have in your heart. No smoking in my lungs, cause I won't even start.
There was a time that I had to be brave and make a right choice. About a year ago, a summer camp, I was one of the helpers, I was one of the leaders actually, of a group, and we were eating lunch one afternoon, and all of a sudden I saw this girl was actually choking, so I ran around the table and I helped her out by doing the Heimlich maneuver, and she ended up being okay, and I was glad that I was there to help her. Be happy, be brave, and be drug and alcohol free.
And now for your third and final refusal skill.
So is this a joke? Are you kidding me right now? You can't be serious, right? Another example of a refusal skill. Looking at someone that's offering you something like drugs, alcohol, and tobacco and saying, is this a joke? Does take a lot of courage, but it guarantees you that instead of coughing away because of smoking or being grounded because you got caught making a bad choice, you're gonna continue to be happy, having fun, enjoying life. So remember, if someone's offering you something that is a bad choice, look at them and say, is this a joke? So a time that I had to be brave was one time when I went snorkeling. I've snorkeled twice in my life and it didn't go well. I was trying to be as brave as I could because I'm not a very good swimmer. If you've ever seen me swim, it looks like two people are wrestling in the water, but they're not. It's me. They said we should be safe in the water as long as we don't mess with the sharks. Who's gonna go and mess with the shark? Come on. So, while I was out there in the ocean, I wasn't paying attention to the boat, and by the time I looked up, the boat had floated all the way in one direction, and I had floated all the way in another direction, which isn't good. So I swam as fast as I could, trying to make it to the boat, but as you know, in the ocean, you're swimming as hard as you can, and the waves, they're pretty big, so they're pushing against you. So I thought, that's it. This is how it all ends. Someone tell my story. I actually started sinking under the water, and as I was sinking, I looked down and I saw the shark circling underneath me, and I thought, my life is not gonna end with these guys making me shark bait. So I swam as hard as I could, and I finally got close enough to where I thought the person in the boat could hear me, and I yelled out, help! Nothing. They didn't hear me. So I took a deep breath in and I yelled out, help! Finally, they heard me, and I thought, yes, I'm saved. But they thought I was waving at them, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, oh my goodness, if I live through this, you will pay. So finally, I knew I had enough breath for just one last yell. I shouted out, help! And finally, they heard me. They actually heard me, and they threw out something that is called a lifesaver, not a lightsaber, because A lightsaber wouldn't have made any sense. They threw out a flotation device. They threw it out, I grabbed on, and I remember I felt so relieved because I knew I was gonna live through this situation. And then out of nowhere, there was another person that came out from the water. He was like, you know, because he was in the same situation that I was in. And I remember I had to be brave enough to say, you know what, I'm okay. I have the opportunity to help someone else that's in the same situation that I'm in. And I gave him the flotation device, and maybe I saved his life. I don't know. And it all worked out because someone decided to finally be brave and throw me a lifesaver, and I decided to help someone out, be a lifesaver to them. Can you imagine someone's life dependent on a choice that you make? So that's what Red Ribbon Week 101 is all about. We want to encourage you and let you know that your choices affect many people. Here's what I mean. There might be somebody like a little brother or sister that's looking up to you. There might be a friend that's waiting for you to make the right choice or stand up against something that is wrong. There may be a random person that just happens to be listening to you the moment that you make the right choice. So once again, that's what the refusal skills are for. They can possibly save your life and someone else's life. So here they are again. We had no way. Can everybody say no way? Ready and...
No way.
No way. I'm assuming you said it. Okay. Second one is I've got better things to do. Everybody say I got better things to do.
I've got better things to do.
And then the last one is this a joke? Because if someone's offering you something that's gonna take away your happiness, they must be joking. So everybody say, is this a joke?
Is this a joke?
All right, and I'll even throw in an extra one. If someone offers you a cigarette, you can look at them and be like, I don't know if it's you or the cigarette, but smoking stinks. Maybe don't say the first part, but smoking stinks. All right, guys, we got a little bit more here going on. I hope you enjoy yourselves. Check this out.
It's time to learn about the 5 B's.
So let's say that a friend asks you if you want to come to a party, and you know that maybe this party isn't going to be the safest, maybe there's not going to be any supervision, or maybe you just feel uncomfortable and you want to say no, but they're your friend and you don't want to hurt their feelings. The first of the 5 B's is beware.
Beware.
So that's when you ask them questions. So you can say, who's going to go? Who's going to be there? What are we going to do there? Is there going to be any parents around? Things that might make them second guess what they're asking you. And they can also get the hint that you probably don't want to go in the first place.
That's right.
Hello, everyone. The second B is bad idea.
Bad idea.
All right, so what this is, you name the problem and the consequences. Here's an example. If someone is offering you a nasty cigarette, you can tell them, that's gross. If I do that, then my lungs will turn black, or I can become addicted to cigarettes. And I don't want that to happen.
Chill, baby.
So the next B is better one.
Better one.
So this just means suggest an idea of something that you can do instead. So for example, if your friends were inviting you to do something unsafe or unhealthy, you could ask if they wanted to learn the new TikTok dance instead.
Tickety time.
They try to get you to drink a beer or smoke a cigarette, you could tell them, bye for now.
Or bye Felicia.
Basically meaning, I can't hang out with you right now because I don't like what you're doing, so I'll see you later. But it doesn't mean you have to stop being their friend.
And if none of that works,
No, I'm not gonna make that choice. You can buzz me later. Alright, dude.
that was the 5 B's, and I don't know why I'm talking like this, but it's cool.
Well, that's it for our kickoff show, guys. I hope you've learned something and maybe even had a little bit of fun. But don't get me wrong, we're not even close to being done with Red Ribbon Week 101. All of next week, I'm talking Monday through Friday, if you will check in with us online, we are going to continue to teach you how to be happy, brave, and drug-free. And here's how it's going to work. You'll check in with us daily, and you'll find several how-to videos. These how-to videos are just going to teach you different ways you can continue to enjoy life. They'll range from how to barbecue, how to do arts and crafts, how to braid someone's hair, or how to get better at sports. We're doing all of this because we want to help you get better at enjoying life, because that helps your confidence, and having good confidence leads to a good life. You can find us on YouTube at MC Youth Department or at Midcoast Family Services on Facebook and Instagram. All right, I can't wait to see you guys next week for Red Ribbon Week 101. All right, we'll see y'all later, guys.
BONUS bonus.
Bonus material.
So our guest today is named Nacho. Hold up, as in Nacho Supreme or Nacho Cheese? Are you guys serious?
Yes, it's true. I am Nacho.
Oh, so you are serious about that. Sorry. So Nacho has had a little bit of trouble with a few bullies lately. Let's start out by finding out who they are. So how often have these guys been picking on you, Nacho?
Every day.
Well, studies show that a confident person is less likely to be picked on.
I'm not listening to you. You only believe in science.
Studies also show that low confidence can lead to nothing but trouble. Like, hey, no, Nacho, don't do that. No, Mr. Feo, please stop. Oh, wow. Handling things that way only leads to a bad reputation.
I knew it.
And that usually leads to more trouble. Key is to try to find what you like to do, like cooking or singing or trying to be a wrestler who wears stretchy pants.
You gotta be kidding. It's my favorite thing to do. Every day. Nacho!
Yikes. So, what do you like to cook? Maybe you can start with that.
To tell you the truth, the brothers make me cook stew and stuff all day, but they don't give me money for fresh ingredients.
Instead of fighting about it, try using your words.
But I do. Okay?
Okay, I believe you. Building up your confidence takes hard work. It can help to remember all the people that are looking up to you. The key is to change your view, because the spotlight's on you. To continue being part of Red Ribbon Week 101, or to find out more about the Midcoast Youth Department, find us on YouTube at MC Youth Department.